Stan, Studs, and Supermans, as we all know, this Tuesday, the Mountaintop and the Midnight Coup both became farmable inside of Onslaught. So on Tuesday, we went ahead and head over to the Hall of Champions, pick up the Mountaintop attunement, then had a little bit of fun with the Salvager Salvo and the Breakneck mission, completed the attunement, and hopped straight into Legend Onslaught to just go ahead and start cracking away at that giant rock that is known as shiny RNG inside of this game. As we know, shinies are rare. And of course, as I'm making this video, they tweet out that they're adding incentives for you to stay in the full 50 waves of Onslaught. I'm just gonna flash the changes up on screen, or at least the main important ones, and that is definitely some good news. Now we can proceed with the rest of the video. However, luckily enough for me, I was able to pull a pretty decent shiny, definitely a usable one, with at least one of the main roles that I was going for. That being this one right here. And the main role that I was happy that I got was auto-loading and recombination. And of course, good old spike grenades in the third column. Definitely could have had a better masterwork, but dude, trying to get a perfect shiny weapon, yeah, I'll happily take this and move on with my day. Also, as we know, they went ahead and recently changed both the old Mountaintop and of course the newer one into both being a micro missile frame instead of having the micro missile be a perk. Also allows you to do some pretty fun bunny hopping with the Mountaintop as well, because it deals reduced self damage, allowing you to really shoot yourself up high in the sky. And if you're using the older one, you can send yourself flying and still live. So outside of it being a really good movement and utility tool, we all know how dominant this grenade launcher used to be, although things have definitely changed nowadays. For PvE, I would definitely say the Mountaintop is going to be a beast, because the micro missile frame itself hits close to what double fire frame GLs hit, and we all know how good double fire frame GLs are, or mainly the Wilderflight. However, since this bad boy is a kinetic, it will be competing against something like Izanagi's Burden. And we all know Mountaintop isn't going to beat Izanagi's, at least in terms of a damage rotation special weapon, for obvious reasons. That being said, you're still going to want to get yourself one of these new Mountaintops, as the perk pull on it is just so darn good. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at that perk pull, shall we? So at a first glance, you see that this thing is packing some heat. We'll go ahead and start off in the third column. Perks that I would go for and or worth mentioning are Demolitionist, Lead from Gold, of course, auto-loading holster, and overflow. And maybe you can make an argument for Ambitious Assassin, but the other four are the main ones that we're looking at here. Demolitionist is always going to be a go-to perk to help you get your grenade back quicker, along with skip and reload every time you throw a grenade, which we all love to see. On top of its origin trait being a pseudo form of Demolitionist already, you can double down with normal Demolitionist. Good to go. Lead from Gold is always a useful perk, so you always have ammo. Auto-loading holster, I don't need to say anything else. And then overflow. Maybe not as strong on this weapon as some other weapons like shotguns and fusion rifles or sniper rifles, but still could be pretty good here. However, I think that we can all agree that auto-loading holster is the best, the go-to perk in this third column. And I'm very happy that our shiny one here rolled with auto-loading holster. Okay, so now let's look at the fourth column, and once again, there's a lot of good stuff here. The Brave Arsenal, man, they just came packing, all of them did. So, perks in the fourth column, worth chasing in my opinion, of course, would be something like Vorpal Weapon, although keep in mind with Vorpal Weapon that there is a little slight issue in the game where if you shoot your GL and then swap off of it and the GL hits your target after you swap off, your Vorpal Weapon's actually not going to proc. So you want to make sure that you're actually holding the Mountaintop when your GL shot makes contact with whatever you're shooting, so your Vorpal Weapon actually procs. Something worth mentioning there. The other two perks that I like the most, Recombination and Frenzy. Frenzy's going to be a 15% damage buff. Max out your handling and reload speed when it is proc. Yes sir, yes sir. We'll happily take that. And then Recombination can be really useful for tankier yellow bars, maybe very short burst damage scenarios, as Recombination maxes out at 10 stacks, and each stack is worth 10% extra damage, meaning a recombination times 10 shot is going to deal double the damage. Pretty useful, 100% damage buff for one shot. Just don't miss it. There's a lot of good perk combos in this perk pool. Of course, auto-loading holster with any of the three main perks in the fourth column that we just talked about is going to be a good combo. Same goes for Demolitionist, Lead from Gold, Overflow with any of those other three good fourth column perks that we also just talked about. Your main priority with this weapon should be auto-loading holster paired with any good damage perk that we talked about in this video. But if I had to say what is the overall best roll, toss up between auto-loading frenzy and auto-loading recombination. Now for just a short, quick little damage comparison between the Mountaintop and the Wilderflight, when we shoot Carl with the Wilderflight, in total we do roughly 56k. And the roll on the Wilderflight is just spike grenades, auto-loading holster, and lead from gold. And then on the Mountaintop, I made sure to take off recombination. I just put on harmony and made sure not to proc it, so that these weapons have no damage perk active outside of course, spike grenades that they both have. And the Mountaintop hits for just under 64k. So it is doing a little bit more damage than the Wilderflight. The only thing is that Mountaintop is in the kinetic slot, and swap GLs are at their best in the energy slot. Why? Because Izanagi's burden takes place in the kinetic slot. Now that being said, the Mountaintop is still gonna be a freaking beast, but we just kind of live in an era right now where most of the time you're gonna be dealing damage with a legendary heavy weapon, not so much an exotic. So it just makes a bit more sense for you to use your exotic slot on Izanagi's during a damage phase. Now a times 10 recombination shot can definitely do some chunking. However, am I being a little bit greedy when I'm saying, or asking rather, can it be buffed a little bit more to do a little bit more damage? You know what I'm saying? Make it a little bit more crispy. Put some hot sauce on it. Spice it up. I got the rewards app and I'm using my points now. Did I just make a reference to loyalty apps? All I'm saying is that if we were able to put the Mountaintop in the energy slot, dude, this thing would be the best GL in the game easily. Easily. Tell me I'm wrong. Overall, I think the Mountaintop is a pretty beastly weapon, and you can definitely implement it into your rotation. Just keep in mind that for any rotation you use it on, you're probably going to be using an exotic heavy. So maybe try something like the Dragon's Breath, for example. See what you can do. Keep in mind that in the final shape, we will be able to enhance our shiny weapons that we are getting now. So hey, enhance auto-loading holster. Can't wait for you to be a part of my Mountaintop. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the reprised and reissued Mountaintop inside of the game, your favorite role for it, and if you've had any luck so far getting it. Remember, if you want to get your games and DLC for a cheaper price, make sure to hit Instant Gaming, the top link in the description, along with their free monthly game giveaway. Thank you so much for watching the video. You guys be safe, take care, consider subscribing. I'll see your beautiful faces in the next one. Adios.
This guy's got his sword now and thinks he owns the place.
Kind of base.
It's a buster, just because you don't have the roll.
Right on the inside. Oh yeah.
I never ever run healing nades up. You just... Oh, I forget we can Sparrow in here.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I may have missed a heavy brick, but I guess I didn't.
What?
Hold on.
What? Dude, I was boosting too fast on the skimmer. I one-shotted myself in a wall.
Thanks, bud.
Where is this ghost?
I don't know.